Hey guys, Richard here with eBike Reviews and Adventures. So today I want to talk about e-bikes, but I also want to talk about solar power stations, and we'll get to that in a second. But for all of us that own e-bikes, we purchase them for various reasons. Some of them are for just pleasure and fun and getting out, for maybe touring, maybe getting some exercise, while other people purchase e-bikes for more of a utilitarian purpose, getting to and from work or getting down to the grocery store to buy some groceries and, hauling your kids to and from school. All these are great reasons to own an e-bike, but have you ever considered that owning an e-bike might be a great idea in times of natural disasters or maybe even man-made disasters? Because during these types of disasters or emergencies, you could find yourself unable to drive your vehicle, whether it be a low fuel supply, you're out of gas, or in my case, with a hurricane blowing through, the roads could get full of debris and other things that makes it impossible for you to use a vehicle. But having an e-bike available would allow me to more easily navigate debris and get around to check on my friends or my neighbors in the area. So there's a lot of different uses for e-bikes in times of natural disasters or, emergencies. So it's just something to think about. Now, in order to be able to continue using these, you'd have to be able to recharge them. If you don't have electricity flowing to your home or to your neighborhood, you're going to want to have some type of generator or power station like these right back here in order to keep the e-bikes charged up. So I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about this, especially since Hurricane Idalia is blowing through right now, and we're prepared for her, and whether or not she takes out the electricity, we're ready for that. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to show you, kind of introduce you to Ecoflow a little bit, show you some of the power stations I have and how I use those, in hopes that maybe it will help you in the event that you're faced with some type of natural disaster or emergency, and it gives you something to think about. You might want to pick something like this up and have it on hand. All right, guys, I'm not going to do a lot of editing work with this. This is kind of like a behind the scenes, so it's going to be a little rough. But here's the Ecoflow website, and I'll put links to Ecoflow down below. They've got a lot of great innovative products. Most all of them are battery operated, solar rechargeable. So some really neat stuff out there. And just to show you some of them, let's start with this smaller power station right here. So this is called the River 2. The River 2 power station over here, when you get to the website, you click on power stations, and then you go down, they have the Delta series and the River series. So they got two different series of power stations. The River series is based on, smaller units, like this one right here. So this is the River 2, and it has 256 watt hours of storage. Okay, that's capacity. And it has 300 watts of output. Now, let me explain that to you right now, because a lot of people don't understand what that means and how that works. So it's got 256 watts of storage capacity built up inside. And, that means if you plug your cell phone into it, or, you can plug in, for instance, this LED light bulb right here that has got a USB port on it. You can plug that in and turn it on. We'll just turn that light on there real quick. You can see right here, this bulb right here is using 4 watts of energy. Okay, so it uses 4 watts of energy in 1 hour. That's kind of how this works. It's all based on 1 hour increments. So 4 watts of energy for an hour, and with the remaining battery of this, it's sitting at 73% right now. It's not fully charged, but at 73%, it's going to run for 34 hours. Okay, so even though it's only 256 watt hours of energy stored in here, something small like a light bulb is going to last you a very long time. Then if you imagine what it'd be like plugging a cell phone to keep a cell phone charged up or something. So a small unit like this right here, can really help you out a lot. It saves you from having to use a flashlight or something, or a candle if the lights go out, because you can use, like I said, a small little light bulb like this and use it for a long time. And it's real handy to have. So this unit right here is just less than $200, so it's really handy to have. But then they have bigger units. So let's go up to the next bigger unit that I have. This one right here is an older version of this one right here. I'm not even going to talk about it. They don't sell it anymore. It's older, but I still use it from time to time. Next one that I have is this one right here. And now this is part of the Delta series that they have. And this is called the Delta 2. Okay, and it is a this has a 1,000 watts of capacity, and it has an additional battery that connects to it for another 1,000 watts. So together, this is 2,000 watts of storage capacity. Now, what can you use this for? So, yeah, I turned it on for you. So what can you use something like this for? So this right here has an output of 1,800 watts. And what that means is a hair dryer, something like a coffee pot, and anything with a heating element often needs 1,800 watts of energy in order to operate. And this right here is capable of operating that. So this would easily operate a 1,000 watt microwave in your kitchen. Small power tools, it's going to run it just fine. Coffee pots, Instant Pots, slow cookers, frying pans, hair dryers, anything like that. This is more than capable of handling it because it can output 1,800 watts at a time. Now, if you don't have the extra battery, okay, and you only have the main unit down here, this main unit only has 1,000 watts of storage capacity. It can still output 1,800 watts. So what that means is, remember what I said, 1,800 watts in an hour's worth of time? So what that means is, since this only has 1,000 watts of storage, it's only going to last maybe, less than 30 minutes to power a hair dryer or something like that is a big energy hog. So it would only last for about 30 minutes, and then this battery would be dead. But, who runs the hair dryer for 30 minutes? Who runs the microwave for 30 minutes? If you use your microwave, usually it's for 3-4 minutes to heat something up. So with that, then this unit would last you a long time. Plus, again, you can run lights off of it. There you go. So you can run lights off of it. There's a number of USB ports on here. Spin it around to the back if I can without knocking stuff over. It's crowded in here. There we go. We have the regular wall outlet, the 110 outlets right here. So it's got quite a few of those. It's also got a DC port here. So there's quite a number of things you can use you can use this for. Now, the next unit that I have that is slightly bigger, it's also brand new. It's one that I just received recently. Is actually over here behind me. And if I can get these aloe vera plants out of the way, you can see it a little bit better. This one's called the Delta 2 Max. Okay, so this is a brand new product. It's not a brand new. It's an upgrade to another product that they already had. But I keep it on the bench over here behind me just because it's a nice power supply to have right here at the ready. This unit right here already has 2,000 watts of stored energy inside it. Okay, so 2,000 watts of capacity. But it can output 2,400 watts, okay? So that means you could plug in a 1,000 watt microwave, right? And you could also plug in another 1,200 watts worth of something. Maybe it's a coffee pot or something, or a slow cooker that's on low. So you could operate easily multiple items because 2,400 watts coming out of this thing at one time could power a lot of stuff. Or maybe you have a larger power tool or something you want to run. You could easily power it with this right here. Same kind of concept and design. They always have USB ports on the front, and then on the back, if I can spin this around, it's rather heavy, close to 50 pounds. There we go. And then we have the additional ports on the back for being able to plug items in, and again, another DC port. Up here, here's your wall outlet, and then you have input ports here to be able to plug in solar panels. This unit, being a brand new unit, one of the things they did to make it different than some of the others is they've got 2 input plugs for solar panels, and it's got 2 controllers in here for solar panels. So you can plug in 2 different solar panel arrays. They're not connected to each other, and have them both running in here at the same time, which is kind of a really neat thing. Now, one thing I will say about Ecoflow right here is they've got a lot of nice features built into their system. They're pretty high tech. They work well. I'm not going to get into all of it, but you can go on their website and learn all about it. But they just got some really, really nice products. Now, this one also comes so you can buy an additional batteries to plug into it. In fact, you can plug in 2 additional batteries on this one right here. So that means you could get it up to a total of 6,000 watts of capacity. So 6,000 watts, that's going to power a lot of stuff in your home for a couple of days, if you're using it conservatively. So great unit, really like that one a lot. Next, let's go over to the next big ones that I have, and we're looking at the back side of them here, but this is called the Delta Pro and the Delta Pro Extra Battery, okay? So you can see we got this big honking cable here that connects the two together, so they're combined. Let's go around to the front. All right, so this right here is the main unit, and it is 3,600 watts of capacity. That's 3,600 watts of storage, okay? Huge, huge amount of storage. Plus, you can get an additional battery that goes with it that's plugged into the back, like I just showed you, for another 3,600, right? So this is huge capacity right here. Huge output capacity at one time. I'm not sure what the output is, I don't recall, but certainly a lot of energy. Look, on this one, they even have a 30 amp plug built into it right here for any high energy appliances or things that you need to run. People love these for their RVs, so really nice right there. You got 4 outlets here on the front, as well as a bunch of USB ports, USB-A and USB-C. So these right here are also very good. I mean, you can power pretty much anything for a long period of time. And you know, this one right here is sitting at 100%, and it says it's good for 8 days. This one says it's 10 days, but that's only because there's no energy coming out. Once you start plugging things in, then this will automatically calculate and adjust, and it's going to tell you how long you can run that particular appliance or tool or whatever it is. And so it's really nice to be able to do that. Also, of course, you can plug solar panels into this. Up here on the display, it'll tell you how much energy is coming in from your solar panels, and then, you know, how much energy is being used up by the appliance or tool or whatever it is that you're using. And then it balances out, and it's going to tell you how long everything's going to last. So you can use these while they're connected to solar panels, which is really nice. So let's talk about these for a minute. What would I use these for? These right here typically run my refrigerator in the house, and it will run my freezer that's in the garage. So I'll plug these in and let them sit, and they'll run for days without any problems, and keep everything nice and cold and frozen if it needs be. So that's how I use these two. Of course, I can use them for anything I want, and I can plug additional stuff into it, but I don't need to because I have other power stations. So that's what I use these for. And I didn't mention it, but the other one over there that we just talked about that's on the over here, that newer one, that goes on the kitchen counter now. And so that does sit there, and that's going to run any appliances we need to run in the kitchen. I can my microwave is not hardwired. My microwave is plugged into an outlet, so I can unplug it and run it to that and power my microwave. And you know, it's almost business as usual in the event that there's an emergency. These two right here, and I didn't mention, so let's talk about those real quick. These two right here will go and power the cable modem, Wi-Fi, and my security cameras and television. Okay, all that is together. So that's what this powers right here. So I can keep my security cameras up and running, and kind of keep an eye on what's going on outside when there's a storm. Last year we evacuated for Hurricane Ian, and I had these units sitting there plugged in, and even though the electricity went off, I was 500 miles away. I was logged in on the website, and I was watching our security cameras. So I was watching the weather outside our home and seeing what was going on and how things were. And it was really comforting and reassuring to be able to say, okay, everything looks good. Everything looks good. And it was nice to be able to do that, even though the power was out, because as long as you have your cable Wi-Fi modem, everything powered up, we still got a signal. We still got video footage of what was going on. So that was really nice. So that is how we use those. Now, these smaller units, you know, they'll be used for other things. Like this small unit I just showed you over here, we'll plug in a couple of those light bulbs and probably leave it on the kitchen table because, you know, Mrs. Adventure and I will sit at the table and play games or something like that, and we'll have some lights to use while we're there. So, yeah, that's just some of the ways that we use those. Now, let me show you something else over here. This is really cool. This is a newer product, and I'll try to back up. It's a little dark over here. Hopefully you can see it pretty good. I'll see if I can turn it on. And it's sitting on a table, so it's sitting up kind of tall. So I'll try to get up on my tippy toes here and show you what we got going on. This is a cooler, okay? This is a battery-operated cooler. And I say battery operated, but it's also solar rechargeable. This guy is super nice. So there's a light inside there. You got good capacity. And because it's battery operated, you don't have to worry about ice taking up space. We can actually put a lot of food in here. And the plan is, if the electricity goes out, we would put any food that we want to eat or plan to eat for a while inside here to keep it cold, to prevent us from having to open up the door on the freezer and the refrigerator, and then having to have those units come on and try to cool everything back down again, because you keep opening and closing the door, right? And you don't want to do that when the electricity is out. So having something like this is great because it's smaller and it cools down really quick, and you can open and close and eat from in here, get your food in and out of here and keep everything nice and cold. And maybe you don't have a large power station to power your refrigerator and freezers. That means you can keep those closed, right? You don't have to mess with them. You don't have to touch them. You don't have to open them up. And if you don't open them, they will actually keep the food inside fine for quite a long time. It's just that when you open that door the first time, it lets out that cool air, the warm air moves in, then you close the door up again after you got your Scooby snack, right? But the compressor doesn't turn on to cool it back down. Things start going bad real quick. So if you can't afford power stations for like your refrigerator, this is a great option. Just transfer some stuff over here ahead of time, and then if the electricity goes out, keep those doors closed, and then just use this one. So this has a smaller battery. I don't recall what it is right now, but it's still good. This thing will last hours and hours and hours without any problems. And also, when the sun is shining, you can plug a solar panel into it, and it'll run off of a small solar panel and not drain the battery. Or, if it's a nice sunny day, you can recharge the battery, still use this unit at the same time while you're only using solar energy. So that's really cool. It's a dual zone. You can set it up so it's dual zone. You can take this piece off right here underneath the lid and divide it so you can have one side that's colder than the other. It's not like your refrigerator and freezer. It doesn't work quite that well. There is a temperature difference. But still, that's the idea and the concept. So you can have really cold stuff on one side and it's less cool on the other side. Another cool feature about this, it's pretty neat, it works pretty well, is, if I can open this up, there's a built-in ice maker too, okay? So look at that, even comes with a little ice basket. So you can pour water inside here, and in about 8 minutes or so, you can have ice. So that is a really cool feature right there as well. It's a little heavy, so that you have this wheel kit you can put on it. So you got wheels to be able to pull it around. It's got a handle kit up here on the front, so you can easily pop it out and pull this thing around. So it's really nice and handy. Take it camping, take it places. We use it primarily for emergency preparedness. So that is a cool feature. Hey, I got one more item I want to show you, and you're going to think this is absolutely crazy, and it kind of is. But you may have seen part of this before, sitting on my desk at this table where I make some of my videos, and that's this guy right here. That's a battery-operated air conditioner. Yep, I said it, battery-operated air conditioner. So it works okay in certain circumstances. It's certainly not Ecoflow's best product by any means. Let me scoot around here. Here's how it works. I mean, you have the basic air conditioning unit, but you can buy an additional battery that connects to it down here, so it makes it battery operated. Otherwise, you can use it just plugged into the wall. Now, it's pretty decent, but it's not designed for large space, and it's not designed for really hot conditions. It's just not going to work that way. This will operate in like less than 100 square feet. So it's good for like a small camper or a really, really small bedroom or something like that. And, truck drivers use them because they don't have to run their engine all the time to try to keep cool. They use them in the cab of their truck. So that's been popular for them. So that's about all it's good for. It doesn't work here in the garage. It's just too hot and the garage is too big. It just can't do it, can't handle it. But a really small space. So what we use it for is in the event the electricity does go out and we're huddled, in in the master bedroom walk-in closet or something. It's a small space, you know, maybe 50 square feet or something. We could take it in there with us and kind of keep that small area cool for a while just to get some relief from the heat. Now, the battery is good for about 2 hours if you're running it on high, at the highest setting, right? But if you put it on the eco mode, it's a lower temperature. If the fan blows a little slower, then you can stretch this battery out and you get about 8 hours use out of it. So not the greatest, but you know, air conditioners, they suck a lot of energy. So it's a good idea in theory, good idea in very limited circumstances of how it can be used. Van camping, you know, use it in your truck or vehicle or something like that. Small spaces, works great. They have, it does have places for duct work. Here's one here. There's another duct that attaches to the top, so you can run it out the window or something, so you have hot air going out of your space. It's really innovative, really kind of neat. I use it here on my desk. Oftentimes in the summertime, I'll have the big garage door open, right? But we're in Florida, so it gets really stinking hot. Even with my wall-mounted air conditioner, way up there if you can see it, I've got a mini split, and it does a nice job of keeping everything cold as long as the door is closed. But sometimes I open up the door, Toby's running around, I'm getting the sunshine, it gets hot and muggy, and I'm sitting here editing videos or something. I can turn this on and it's just sitting right here blowing directly on me. And it helps keep me cool and comfortable while I work. So it's great for that. So I'm glad to have that as well. So yeah, that's about it. You know, Ecoflow has some great products. I've got solar panels too for some of these units here. I need to get some more solar panels because I just don't have enough. But Ecoflow has, like I said, they're very innovative. They've got some great products. And if you're thinking about battery solar power stations, go check them out. Please consider using my link down below. Just go check them out. If you make a purchase, I do make a small commission, which helps this channel to grow. If you have any questions about Ecoflow, let me know. I'm happy to try to answer those for you. Hey, I think that's going to be it for this video. No need to continue rambling. I'll just cut it off right here.